Alrighty, quick little news of the day video. Again, family, we're going out this morning, so after I come back this afternoon, I can do maybe a list video. We'll see how much time I got. Probably throw together some kind of a list video, seeing that we're coming to the end of the tens. I don't know what to call it, but on January 1st it becomes 2020, so we hit the 20s. So I figure a series as we end the tens is kind of fun. And for people who don't want to say that the decade's over, that's fine. I remember in 1999, we're all like, this is the millennium. People are like, actually, no, it's not. Actually, the millennium doesn't end until we hit 2001. Whatever. There's so I always see that and I think, man, you got to be fun at a party. You get to the, you're watching New Year's Eve and you do the countdown, you hit midnight and everybody's kissing and they're throwing, party streamers in the air and they're screaming and drinking and somebody in the backstage going, actually it's only 11:57. You guys are all wrong. You guys are all doing this way too early. It's only 11:57. Just so you know, it's only 11:57. Actually, if you guys pay attention. Nobody's paying attention to me. What? Nobody. Anyways, that's how I see it. All right. Last night, so we drive to the game. It took us an hour and a half to get there. It was just between the horrible weather and then the traffic in Vancouver. As you get closer to the arena, of course, the traffic just gets crazy. And then we get in, we get seated. Just 5 minutes after we sit down, the game starts. I was good. I only had to leave my seat to use the washroom once the entire game, and that was the only time I left my seat. And then we go home. We get here, and as soon as I came in the door, I worked on my boards, which took roughly 45 minutes, and then I started the review. I didn't see anything about Eichel, so I had no idea Eichel didn't play last night. I didn't see it on Twitter. It wasn't something that I saw people I followed chatting about a whole lot. And again, this is where people say, well, you could watch the condensed games, you could go here and there, and then that just makes it take longer. And it was 1:45 before I got to bed last night, and I knew I had to get up at 8 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, anything that would make that even later. So here I am apologizing to Sabres fans, just in general. I had no idea. It's an upper body injury, and he's day-to-day. I think, and again, this is one of those things where having a player of his stature, and they're going, upper body, last minute we decided to scratch him. The next thing you're wondering is, so is this something that's been nagging at him? And maybe during his point streak, they're like, well, we could pull him out to prevent. He's playing really well. He says he's fine. Players will almost always say they're fine. So that's where trainers need to step in, doctors need to step in, if needed, depending on the injury, and say, you need to sit out here and there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Buffalo. And again, they need to show that they have the depth. So if Eichel misses a game here and there, maybe they'll be fine. 2 failed challenges by Jeff Ward, and the fact that it's happened within a week means it's newsworthy. It would not have been newsworthy last year. Last year, these failed challenges just cost Calgary a timeout. Now they mean you're killing a penalty, and if those penalties end up resulting in goals in the back of your net, it's newsworthy. So Ward twice is challenged for offsides. He's been wrong both times, and it's one of those ones where last night it was that the player had control of the puck, so even though he was technically offside, he technically wasn't because he had control of the puck the whole time. It's one of those ones that it throws me off every now and then. And I've seen instances where I say, well, he had control, and then they do a review and they go, nope, it's offside. And then I'll go, well, he didn't have control there. And then they do a review and they go, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Which is why this is newsworthy. And so it's interesting that something that a year ago we go, and now we look and we go, well, he's got to be knowing better what an offside is or isn't. I wouldn't put it on him as much as the guys upstairs that are supposed to be spotting this stuff. They're supposed to be calling down, right? There's supposed to be a replay official for the team that's calling down and going, hey, that play was offside. If this is a goal, this is a dead play. So it's a whole team thing, but because it's a rookie coach, it's easy to point the finger at the rookie coach and go, hey. But this, again, is a team thing. So if there was nobody in his ear telling him that's actually onside, that's an issue. Which brings me to the next topic of conversation. Is there a solution to the officiating issue? Every single day, fans will complain about refereeing. Every single game you watch, you're going to hear ref, you suck, as a chant. It's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, I think it's fans. There's some sort of a bias in there, but that 1 time out of 10, I go, yeah, they probably should have called that. Now, where I have a problem with it, where I have had a problem with it the whole time, is inconsistency. And where it drives me nuts is if something's a penalty, it's a penalty. And I have said this for years, and I've had people saying, well, no, a penalty's not a penalty if it's late in the third period. Yet, no, that it needs to still be a penalty. Well, no, everything goes in the last 30 seconds of a tie game. That shouldn't be a thing either. And I think it makes it hard for new fans. Because if you're a new fan and you're watching, you're going, wait, that's hooking, right? And the hockey fan next to you is going to go, yeah, that would have been hooking in the first, but it's the third period, so it's not a hooking penalty now. Why not? It's the same thing. Yeah, not in the third. Or they haven't called anything this whole game. Yeah, it's been great. It's playoffs. Yeah, in the playoffs, they don't call anything. It's great. This is an issue the NHL's had for a long, long time. Now, in the midst of all the inconsistency, where a referee might say, that's holding, and then you see the exact same play 5 minutes later, and it's not holding now, and as a fan, you're going, okay, what is it? The even-up calls drive me nuts. There's nothing that drives me nuts in a game more than, and you guys have heard this, where an announcer will say, okay, now let's say it's Carolina against Dallas. And Dallas has had 4 power plays. And the announcer saying, now Dallas has to be careful because they've had 4 power plays. Carolina hasn't had any. So anything Dallas does, the referee's going to call it now because Dallas has had too many power plays. Or vice versa, it'll be, well, yeah, he tugged that guy down. That's probably a trip. But Dallas has already had 4 power plays. So, what? Picture that anywhere else in life where you go, hey, I won again. Yeah, Jimmy, you need to be quiet because Billy over here hasn't won anything today, so we're going to make sure he wins this round. But I got it. No. No, you're winning too much. And it's like you've had too many power plays, so you've had too many. We're going to make sure the other team gets the next one. It is the most bizarre thing in sports to me. It is so weird. This whole even up and then make up calls. I saw that last night in the game between Vegas and Vancouver, where there's a missed call on Levo. And my theory is this, the referees look up and they go, we missed that. That's probably boarding or interference. Could have been roughing, cross-checking. How many different penalties are there? They don't cancel each other out, right? No, I don't think so. So you get make-up calls where something will happen 5 minutes later and the arm goes up and you go, well, that wasn't a penalty. But he's making up for that one earlier that he missed. It's ridiculous. Again, same situation. Can you picture that anywhere else in life? Wait, why am I getting a penalty? Well, remember that thing you did 10 minutes ago? Yeah, you didn't call me for a penalty on that. Yeah, I'm calling you on this, though. But that's nowhere near as bad as that other thing I did. Well, I got to make up for it. It happens in hockey, and these are the 3 things that I have a problem with when it comes to officiating. And officiating in the National Hockey League is the most difficult job you have to do, other than, I think, calling balls and strikes in baseball. Ball's going 95 miles an hour. I have no idea how umpires can tell that it hits the corner and doesn't hit the corner at times. I am very impressed with umpiring. And just the fact that now that we've got that box in baseball, it's usually 95% when it hits that box, they're going to call it a strike. It's fantastic. But back to this, I do think that while officials have the hardest challenge of almost any official in sports, period, this is the kind of stuff that has to drive brand new fans to the game nuts because they don't know what a penalty is. And when they're watching the game, it just makes it more confusing. So if you learn the rules, you're going to be going, well, wait, that's a cross-check. Nope, third period, tie game. Doesn't count anymore. Wait, what was that? That wasn't even a cross-check. Yeah, he called a cross-check there because earlier he missed that trip. So because he missed that trip, that's a cross-check now. All right, I'll jump off the soapbox. We'll get on the injury news front. Anders Nilsson, who did not play last night. Högberg got his first NHL win. Nilsson has a concussion. This is terrible news if you're a Senators fan because Nilsson has been their goaltending so far this year. Now Anderson's back, I believe, soon. So last night, Gustafsson was backing up Hogberg. I believe was it Ottawa was playing Buffalo. I'm trying to remember who Ottawa was playing against. Pittsburgh. I think it was No, I'm trying to remember who Ottawa was playing, and the announcer said something about Gustafsson and said, and Gustafsson's this really good young goaltending prospect for, and he announced the other team, and I went, Gustafsson he's not a prospect for that team. If there was a comment section on that game that I could enter into. But yeah, Gustafsson was the backup last night for Hogberg. This is a problem. Now, Hogberg, on the other hand, he gets a chance to kind of run with it if he does well, which he did last night. So we'll see how long Nilsson's out with concussions. You just never know. No way to tell. Zucker's listed as week-to-week with an upper body injury. These week-to-week injuries are not fun. And Schultz is listed as week-to-week with a lower body injury. So those guys are going to be evaluated every week. And over here, Kevin Labanc, upper body injury, so I put him here. He's likely out for the weekend. So if those guys are in your hockey pool, well, Schultz hasn't been giving you anything if he's in your hockey pool. Zucker's been pretty good for Minnesota. They'll miss him. But while we're, with Minnesota, while we're looking at them for a second, some of those Paul Fenton pickups have been pretty good lately, haven't they? So yeah, there you go. You guys are all set for today's action. I'd be interested to know what you guys think about the state of officiating in the NHL. And I think people go too far with it. Because here's the thing. All of these items here, the inconsistency, even-up calls, and make-up calls, they've been in the game since forever. They've been there forever. I think we need to get rid of this idea that you need to even up the power plays. No, if one team's taking liberties, keep calling penalties until they stop. And if one team's playing clean, they shouldn't get penalized. Make-up calls drive me nuts. If you miss a call, you miss a call. Move along. And the inconsistency. Just call the rule book. Players will adjust. And when I see people saying, oh, you can't really do that because it'll drive the players nuts. Players adjusted. When they had the crackdown on all the hooking and holding after the lockout wiped out season of 04-05, players adjusted really quick. And the players that couldn't, they ended up being out of the league. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support. The channel growth lately has been excellent, and I thank you guys for that. And I will talk to you again soon.